On this episode of Artifactually Speaking, the eyes have it. I'm Dr. Brad Hafford, archaeologist at the University of Pennsylvania, and I'm here at the ancient city of Kalhu, or Nimrud, and of course we are digging, and we've got a new shrine, one that hasn't been excavated before. It hasn't been disturbed since the Babylonians destroyed it. Oh, in 612 BCE, right around there. And we know it's a shrine because of many aspects, one of those being the entryway from the courtyard. So I'm sitting in that entryway right now. And it is pretty large. This is the doorway. We've got the walls here, and I'm sitting on an inscribed door sill or threshold. So you can see that there are cuneiform signs all across this. My shadow obscures a few, but I think we can see that in fact it is written on. And the writing tells us how great Paul II was. He established this city as his administrative capital back in the 9th century BCE, and he built many of the temples here. His son, Shalmaneser III, expanded many of them as well. We find bricks with his name as well quite often. This one was probably built by Paul II, as we can see by this inscription. We hope that it tells us the name of the god that this shrine is dedicated to, but so far we haven't gotten that. We do know that there was a god represented here, though, or at least we're quite sure of that, because of the various finds that are inside the room. And the room's not completely excavated yet, but the floor had many things on it, including faience in gold and ivory, and this object, which, well, it may look rather unassuming, but what it is an inlay, an eye inlay. So this, of course, when it was complete, was round, and then we have a very dark pupil. So the outer portion of the eye is often made of ivory. In this case, I think it's a limestone that's been well polished. And then in the center, they've put a thick bitumen to make the pupil of the eye. So this would have been a very large eye. Think about how that would have been when it got completed.
This eye inlay is very round, and you would think it would end up looking like a googly eye. But remember, the statue would have had an eye-shaped inlay hole so that it was more oval, and this would have been stuck in with bitumen and secured with a copper cord. The British Museum does have one something like it, but it makes more of an eye shape. I do wonder what this would look like on the statue overall.
Well, this would have been set within probably a wooden statue. And we have found many of those beard curls in blue faience, and that was quite large too. So I imagine that what we're looking at is a male deity represented in this shrine, and his statue had these large eyes and a big blue beard. Pretty interesting, and I'm hoping that it's someone like Sin, perhaps, the moon god, who in the south is known as Nana in Sumerian, and Ur is his city, so I've been excavating a lot of Nana's material as well. This eye inlay on the back has a kind of groove, and that would have helped it to sit on the wood, and then there's a tiny hole that goes all the way through, and we can see it on both sides here. It's a kind of lateral piercing that would have had a wire through it, and then it would have been held onto the post or whatever that would have been back here. Now, a large-eyed, blue-beard figure would have been somewhere inside this shrine, and the shrines are bent axis, so you don't approach the god directly. You have to move into the shrine and then turn, and we think in this case you would turn right. We haven't completed the excavation there. Maybe we'll find more of the statue in that case.
We have found another eye inlay in a smaller shrine just off the big one, and this one is made of glass in two different colors, two layers, an iris and pupil, and the back shows also this indentation where it would have fit against some sort of ridge in the wooden statue, and that would have helped secure it, and they would have used bitumen as well. So there's probably a smaller cult statue. I'm not quite sure what the indentations are here, but there was a smaller cult statue in that smaller shrine. But it had eyes just like this. It would have had bitumen inside the eye socket, and it would have looked much more realistic then.
Well, we also found, well, a bit farther up in the fill, this is just a stone, but it's been split in a way that makes it look like an eye. There's this outer cortex that's very light, and then a darker, I think it's a chert of some sort, it's certainly cryptocrystalline, and it has been split. Maybe this was a kind of replacement eye. It's not very well worked, but I'm seeing that it kind of fits. You can see that this one, it's bigger than this one. So, I don't know, could have been an attempt. I'm not certain of that, but I like to think that maybe they replaced part of an eye with this, or they tried to make another eye not as well as this one. Not absolutely certain there, but this really does confirm that there's a statue in here somewhere, and it's got to be a god, the god that you would come visit in this shrine and ask for blessings of whatever sort. So, I hope that you have enjoyed looking at this eye with me, and I hope you'll join me again next time on Artifactually Speaking.